Good evening. Welcome into the Power Hour. I'm Steve, along with the lovely Rachel, Chicago knockout extraordinaire, the urban sensation, and now NWA superstar C Red. Rion Skills will be joining us a little bit later on. And of course, tonight our guest is the man with the golden throat. You can take that however you want. It is the one, the only Wade Hunt. Hello, Wade.
Howdy, everyone. Thanks for having me here on
Oh,
the Power Hour.
it is our pleasure. And you picked a good night because tonight we have the auspicious honor of being the NWA Power post-game show. So
Yes.
let's just get the monkey in the room right off our back and go here live.
Why are we playing this? People can see it on YouTube. Just one.
Look at him there.
Oh, great.
Here it comes.
See red on the outside, ladies and gentlemen.
Now that's a tease. That's what we call a tease. So it's happening, or it's happened at the. You'll be watching this in the future. We're in that space-time continuum stuff again. So that's in the past, but in your past, but my future. So enjoy NWA Power tonight as C Red. I kind of have to believe that Mario Pardua is now a honorary member of the ARC.
No.
Why is he gotta be?
Why has he got to be part of the ARC? He can just be part of the VIP umbrella.
You could be part of the VIP umbrella, but you had Hudson, Aaron Xavier. You like a little Caucasian influence in the ARC every now and again.
I don't have a problem with that, but things are shaky. They shaky. So let things.
Well, we all congratulate C Red for making it to a level that he always said, yeah, I don't care if I do or I don't. Well, there you are. You did it. And now you're there. And now you're the legendary manager, C Red. So ha. No more modesty for you.
It was, what? It was never if I do or not. And so now that I say it, I probably did say that. But it wasn't so much of that as far as like I didn't care. It was just the fact of I've been doing this for so long, and I'm not no spring chicken. So to think, I would get this opportunity in the twilight of my career, wasn't even on my radar. So again, as I said in my live video, it was a blessing, and I will take that blessing and cherish it and be proud of it. So,
well, something good must have happened because when the king of the Smashing Pumpkins calls someone up to the bigs, that's a big deal. So you're on Billy C's radar, and I think that's all that matters here right now.
Hey, did you notice that this episode, you really could have titled the episode The Chicago Boys?
Yeah.
Like,
gang's all there.
Because after the first match, you had me and Mario, and then you had Cody James. After that, I'm like, okay, we just having Chicago Boys, and then there was the match with the Fixers. With Jay Bradley. So it was like kind of felt good that this was the time, So again, I will personally right now thank Rachel, Steve, Rion, for all their love and support in this endeavor. We'll see what happens. On the road to 75. Maybe I could be on the road to 76. I don't know. So we'll see. But let's not talk about me anymore. We got the Satin voice, the man that everybody comes to hear once every month.
Satin voice, love it.
Yeah, dude. First of all, I'm hating that the fat and I need him to come over here and fix my shit. Cause Wade, say something.
Hey, hello, hey.
Do you see how clear that shit is?
No,
That's good to
And
hear.
it's
Thank you.
it's
for
like,
saying. I've
why?
been dialing it in for a little while.
Dude, understand we have people that come on and their audio is horrible.
Sure.
So,
that's fair.
and we're all sitting here like, huh? What you say? Can't hear you. So to have somebody come on and the clarity is so wonderful. And again, I need you to come over here and tell me what the hell I'm doing wrong. And I got a mic somewhere. Yeah, I got a mic, but it didn't act right. So I took it there. So I just need you to tell me what I did. Yes, NWA Power 75. Yes, Matt Cardona, he did address the crowd. Well, in a way, he's coming back with an open challenge at 75. A month away, ladies and gentlemen. Get your tickets now. Yeah, there's that guy in the background. Yep.
Rian's just going through your greatest hits, C-Red. We're very fortunate, and you know it's the perfect time to have Wade on this show. I'm all about the people that work in professional wrestling that do important and impressive things that don't get the recognition and the kudos that they deserve. Ring announcing is not something that everybody can do. Everybody thinks that they can do ring announcing. Everybody assumes they can get up there and be a ring announcer. Wrong. Can't do it. You gotta have a certain presence and a certain disposition to do it properly and be entertaining at all. And some of the longest nights of my life at CSW were those nights where Wade was not available and I had to do it. So you want to talk about learning on the job and you want to talk about paling in comparison. That was me sometimes at CSW. Everybody's saying, get out of here. Give us Wade back. So fortunately, Wade hasn't missed many shows, and I appreciate that every time you're there because, you know, the ring announcer, you know, they're kind of your tour guide. They're walking you through what's coming and going and why things are important. And I think Wade does it as well, if not better, than just about anybody I've ever worked with because, you know, when we're on commentary, we're waiting for Wade's cues. And it took us a while to get a commentary team together that wouldn't talk over Wade. So we had some issues there where a lot of people were talking over Wade and Wade's doing his thing. And then you go to listen to it on YouTube and you're like, what's Wade saying? Well, if you'd shut the fuck up, you'd hear what Wade's saying. So fortunately, the IWTV people will pat my partner on his head. Wade's talking. So I think we finally got that handled and we get to hear and truly appreciate Wade. But what I love about Wade even more than his ring announcing is the fact that he is a rock musician. So I'm just as excited to talk about that part of his life as I am the wrestling part. In fact, that's where we're going to start. When I was going through listening and looking at things, the thing that most recently happened is Gut Wrench. Is that still a thing? Can you tell us a little bit about it? Because it seems like it's a family affair.
It's so family-ish, yeah. A brother of mine, not blood brother, good friend of mine that I've known since I started playing music back in my mid-teens, back when I lived in Dallas-Fort Worth area of Texas, named Mikey. He and I had a mutual friend named Austin Stewart, who unfortunately, in a drunk driving accident, passed away at a ripe age of, I don't even think he was 18 yet. So we kind of bonded over tragedy in a way. And all these years later, we found each other again, somehow, some way. The stars aligned and we were able to he was already starting a project and he had me in mind to do vocals. So he reached out and said, hey, do you want to sing and scream over some new music I'm working on? And I said, absolutely.
And here you are, and it's a thing now. There are some samples out there of what Gut Wrench is doing. Now, are you guys going to do a full-length album, or are you going to do like an EP? What's the plan? Or are you just going to kind of mess around and have some fun?
So for now, he is actually in a very successful touring, I want to say black metal band. They're called Hinaya from Arlington, Texas, where he still lives
Oh.
and works. So whenever he has time, he kind of sits down with his guitar and structures the songs, records them, sends them to me and all his ideas, and I kind of do the same on my end with the vocals and lyrics and stuff. So we've been working on singles mostly. I think we got about 4 or 5 fleshed out songs, and I still have to record my rough vocals on to see if he's uh, feeling the vibes of what I'm putting down. And we'll probably just kind of do single by single as we go and figure it out as we go. So
That is the beauty of technology these days. You
oh
don't
yeah,
necessarily have to be in the same room. And do you feel like COVID? I mean, people were doing this obviously before COVID and the lockdown, but I feel like some musicians, really took advantage of this, and that's kind of how music thrived for the few months that nobody could kind of be in the same studio.
right. That was a big reason for me building out my own home studio after my girlfriend and I moved out to the suburbs. Uh, I was able to acquire some nice sound treatment and do a lot of research online through coaching and all this stuff. Was able to kind of dial in my sound and do more research and study all the inner workings of sound waves themselves and all that stuff. So COVID was it was it was a blessing in disguise, I guess I can say. The stimulus helped out quite a bit with funding the studio situation. Um, but yeah, did a lot of studying, training with voice acting, singing, um, and just kind of studio stuff over the pandemic. And especially with live concerts not being a thing for however long it was, year and a half, 2 years, that really drove me and kept me motivated to do stuff that I have control over here in my home and recording new music and collaborating with friends and stuff like that.
Now, Wade, are you just a vocalist, or do you play instruments as well?
So I try to be humble, I guess. I don't consider myself a musician. Uh just a vocalist for the most part. I can dabble with bass guitar, play some drums. I have a drum kit here at my home and a little bit of guitar. I just never latched onto those things as much as being free to perform and flail around on stage while singing and yelling into a microphone. So that's kind of what I've gravitated towards over the years.
Hey, the lead vocalist, that's the showman. He's the guy that gets, or the gal that gets the energy out there. So we love the good lead vocalists. Obviously Gut Wrench is kind of what you're doing now. Talk about the bands you've been in previous to this incarnation.
Sure. So my longest tenured band now that I'm currently in that's active is we're called Knockout Kid. Um, we've been a band since I think they started in 2010 and I joined in the summer of 2012. And they had just finished up a full-length record, 12 songs, and kicked their old vocalists out. So I reached out to them and auditioned to a similar in my home at the time. Wasn't as good of quality back then, being 2012. And now here we are 10 years later or more. But I was able to demo some of my vocals over their songs that they had released, and they almost immediately, maybe a day, maybe not even 24 hours later, called me on the phone, which was, whoa, I'm getting a phone call, not even a text or anything. And they were like, hey, you want to come be our singer? So I made the jump. I was living in Queens, New York at the time, and singing for an older band that had just disbanded. And then I made the move back home to Texas for a little while, got my shit together for the most part, and then made the move up to Chicago and been transplanted here ever since.
Wow, that is quite the rock and roll story, isn't it? Influences. When obviously, people come into music at a fairly young age most of the time. When you were getting interested in music, what were some of the acts, some of the music that put you on your path?
Wow. Okay. That list will be vast. Maybe
That's
maybe
always a
some.
tough question. Influence.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Top of the list vocally, I would say my biggest influence, though it's probably not noticeable, but Freddie Mercury is there at the top of the list. Frank Sinatra, of course. Um, and then some of the newer bands that I've excuse me, um, taken influence from are bands like Under Oath, um, Every Time I Die, and then some heavier stuff like Cannibal Corpse. Can throw that in there. Some
Oh, now suddenly Scott Spade is interested in what's going on here. He
it's
comes.
it's a wide range of different vocal styles, and I can really tell and pick apart certain things just over my years of training vocally and stuff like that myself. So I love the unique vocalist fronted bands. I tend to gravitate more towards those, and kind of they've influenced me heavily over the years.
When you started to get interested in music, and you're reflecting on Freddie and Sinatra, a misconception is that everybody that plays aggressive metal music, whether it be dark metal, death metal, black metal, whatever kind of metal you'd like, you're angry and rebellious. There's certainly a fair share of that, but some of the darkest and most aggressive songs have some of the most beautiful instrumentation and production going on behind it. So it's hard to believe that it's all anger and hate inspired. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, you could probably boil that down to the lyrical content, and if sometimes singers are very private in their personal lives and don't let people in, the fans in, and they're able to just kind of put on this show, this persona of I am this angry, middle-aged white man who just hates everything. I hate my job. I hate my boss. And that some people own up and they own that. And it can be endearing in a way, I guess, but there's only so much you can take of people just being abrasive and aggressive and in your face like that. But there are times when you feel like that yourself and you can absolutely relate, and it's just good to swing the old hair around and bang your head a little bit, get some aggression out.
Absolutely. All right. So I could go on for an hour and a half just talking about this. I'm going to open it up to see Red and Rachel, at least in the music portion. Red, do you have any music related stuff that is on your mind? I mean, we're dealing with a legit musician here.
No, it's funny though. He was naming his influences, um, and so I know it's quiet is hard to believe. So I used to be a singer years ago. Started a band, based it off of New Edition. Uh,
You were in Boys to Men, right?
no, stop it. And we could sing, but the problem was the other guys were heavier, so they couldn't keep up with the dance moves.
Mm.
And it was like after 2 practices, I was done. I'm like, this ain't gonna go nowhere. Y'all can't, the dance part was it for me. And then you mentioned about there is a timeout from Rian. Go ahead, Rian.
Rion's got a timeout. That is a Ryan Matthews timeout. Rion, that is your
Wait,
first call timeout.
no, fuck that, fuck that. I didn't. Yo, you and the boy band.
Yeah.
You was in a boy band. Are you serious? I mean,
Yes.
I'm pretty sure I know what this week's clip is going to be.
Oh, that's great. Then Johnny
Eddie-
Gill, New Edition, it was over.
First of all, fuck Johnny Gill, because that should have been my slot.
That's what I'm saying.
Because Johnny still can't goddamn dance. He
I-
can sing his ass off, but he can't move worth shit.
He just trips over Ralph Tresvant the whole time.
But listening, Wade brought up an interesting part that singers a lot of times don't let the fans in. And I just watched the Netflix documentary of Wham. If I did not love George Michaels before I love him 10 times more. And I've got so much more respect for Andrew, because Andrew is actually the one that released the documentary, and it's more of him explaining their journey as Wham. And it was like, because growing up, I didn't know George Michaels was gay. Like, to me, he had the fucking perfect hair. I wanted that hair. I didn't give a damn.
That hair? Are you fucking kidding me right now? You wanted that hair?
Yes.
How are you gonna wear that hair?
Dude, with the fucking blonde highlights, that shit was hot.
For fuck's sake. Someone's got to meme that. All my artists out there, somebody's got to give a picture of C-Red with some Wham hair. I need that stat.
I'm just saying. But it was just.
They'll do that shit too. They'll do it. We'll have
somebody stupid ass will do it. It don't matter. Especially I ain't got none. So shit.
I can text Andrew right now, and he will have it done in the next 5 minutes.
If you don't, I will. If you don't, I will.
Send it here. Send it to me directly, please.
You got it, Rion. Hold on.
Anyway.
Actually, I'm gonna expedite the process, and I'm gonna go away for a minute. I'm going right downstairs and tell him to do it.
Wait, do you see the foolishness I have to deal with?
Ask and you shall receive.
I kind of love it.
You love me.
Anyway, so I mean, I cannot imagine. Let me make sure I get that right. How you have survived being a vocalist all this time, because I know it's difficult. Again, I tried it one time and it was like, oh, okay, we got the vocals down, but you jackbutts don't want to dance. So, but to still be doing this after all these years, and dude, to move from there to Texas and then back here, and it was like, woo,
it's been a journey for sure.
Dude, you really must love music.
Oh yeah. Maybe to a fault, but it's been interesting for sure.
All right, so this is a question that you see. There's Gut Wrench right there, Bittersweet.
Nice.
Must be available now out there somewhere. Go find it. It's delightful. Big fan of a film called High Fidelity, so I want to know your top 5 desert island albums. See, I don't get to ask. I can't have Marche Rocket on here because he's not a musician. I mean, he's awesome, and he probably would give me his top 5 albums. But this means more. This is a music man to music man. I managed a record store for 8 years, so I have been on a musical journey myself a long time. So I'd like to know what you crash on a beach. You got 5 albums to listen to the rest of your life. Wade Hunt. What are those 5 albums?
Wow. I actually have not an extensive vinyl collection, but it's just over here.
Of course you do, because you're a classy.
I can go grab my 3 and show them maybe if we've got time for that.
We have time for whatever. This is the Wade Hunt show. We're just the scenery.
Give me about a minute and a half. And
I'll give you 2 minutes.
Select my records. Okay.
We'll give you 2 minutes. Wade is going to go get some records, and we're going to talk a little bit more about George Michael Young up there in the corner.
Whatever.
So let's talk about your hair. Let's talk about little Sean Young, long before C-Red wanting George Michael's hair. This can't be real.
Why can't it be real?
I don't know, because I just can't picture that on your head.
Dude, at one point I did have a perm.
Well, I know that.
We need pictures of that.
I'd like to see pictures. I mean, we saw a picture of
those pictures are long gone. You have to go see the X to find out if she even still has those. So.
Now, are we talking "Wake Me Up Before You Go" hair? Are we talking about the
Careless Whispers hair? Careless Whispers.
Or what about, hey, his hair was pretty magical.
Thank you for the information. I'm texting Andrew updates as you speak.
What?
I'm telling Andrew Careless Whispers hair. Thank you for the update. And Rosie said hello. I don't know if you just heard her.
Hello.
Do you need to be interviewed, Rosie? Here, I'll put you on camera, but you're the
good
only.
Lord. I don't know. Well, hello.
Hey, Rose.
Oh,
And that's the other country.
I
her-
never.
Oh, look at my face.
Good Lord. That's the
Thank you.
rudest guest we've ever had.
Who,
Right.
me
No,
or
Rosie.
Rosie?
Rosie was
Rosie.
rude.
She is
Uh,
rude.
So
The other
you have-
dog barked and she had to go.
God, she was gone like the wind.
dude. I mean, it's dude. Shit. To watch that video and sing that song live. Wow. We
There's
pulled
Red
up.
with a little hair. That's not George Michael hair.
No, that's me and Rudo. Why? But I was stealing Rudo's payday. But of course, that's hey, I'm the manager, right? I need my cut. You know.
Yo, you look like Reginald Vell Johnson right there. Like you should be the cop in Die Hard in that picture. That's what you look like right there, bro.
Ooh, yeah, I was a little bit too thick. Wade, thank you for coming back. Thank you so much. Woo, Wade. Yes, hurry up. Plug in, Wade. Yes, plug in. Yes. Don't say them.
Wade saved your life. It was the roast of C Red there for a few minutes.
Oh, I missed it.
Did you know that C Red starred opposite Bruce Willis in Die Hard? Look at that picture down there.
I get no respect. I swear I know.
You get a lot of respect.
All right, so I grabbed more than three.
Let's break it down. This is my favorite part.
I
This
couldn't
might be my
decide
favorite
between a
episode
few.
ever. This is my jam.
All right, let's start with the oldest of the records.
Ooh.
This one.
Oh yeah, you can. That's every breath you take. The singles. That's got
Yes.
slowed down, updated version. Don't stand so close to
Don't
me.
stand so close to me.
I
Hey.
did forget to mention Sting as an influence.
Well, of course,
both the
that-
wresler and the musician.
Hey, you
big
got
fans.
you're double dipping with Sting there. You're double
Oh, yeah.
dipping just a little bit. That album was that's the first record I ever owned on compact disc when compact disc started to take over the universe at the time. Could not get enough of Don't Stand So Close to Me 86. Not that I don't love the original, but there's just something about that updated version that really, really enjoyed.
It's a beautiful record. I listen to it as often as I can. They have quite a few singles on here.
Sting and Sting. There we go.
Yeah, but that's probably I have older than that, but that one was really something I can listen to on a daily basis.
And that's cover to cover. I mean, there's not a song that lacks anything on that particular record. Spirits in the Material World, the do da da da. King of Pain, Roxanne. I mean, that's all the hits. That's a desert island record because what more do you need?
You don't have to turn on the red.
All right, settle down, Eddie.
All right,
Don't
so
make me Jack Cates you.
I believe this one came out in the late 80s, 89, 88.
Okay.
This one is Nine Inch Nails.
The Pretty Hate Machine. Head
Yes.
Like a Hole. That album, funny story about that album. We sold a lot of those at the record store, but when Downward Spiral came out, everybody lost their shit. And everybody wanted to know what they were doing before Downward Spiral. So then Pretty Hate Machine, I couldn't keep it in the shelves. Every time we'd get 3 copies in, it would leave. And Head Like a Hole was a pretty big hit.
Yes.
Brent Reznor and all his angst and glory.
I wound up loving Head Like a Hole because of Christopher Daniels. A lot of people don't know that used to be his entrance theme.
Wow.
In Windy City. And for me it was Bow Down, and it was like, yes, yes, I will bow down to you, Christopher Daniels, yes. And it was like so awesome. So can you imagine a black guy going into the neighborhood record store? Do you have 9 Inch Nails? And they look at you like batshit crazy. So of course I
Oh, boy, you got the new Heavy D record.
Of course, but I had to drive all the way to Ford City, because Evergreen Plaza didn't even carry it, so I had to drive to Ford City and go to Coconuts there to purchase it.
Oh God, the record store.
Remember when you could
I
go to a record?
completely forgot about the existence of Coconuts.
Man, Coconuts was
Man, I was there a lot.
that
All
was
of them.
I miss any damn record store,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
So here's a quick story, not to cut Wade off.
Wait till we got 2 records in, Red.
I know. We would so every Sunday, of course, go to church, me and my dad, right? And when the pastor would get up to start preaching, I would sneak out the back door. Now, most of the teenagers snuck out the back door, but they would all head down to McDonald's, and everybody would hang out in McDonald's for the next hour. Well, nobody paid attention. There was a little bit of mom and pop shop record store right across the alley from McDonald's, and that is where I spent my time. Oh my God, you talking about just browsing records and talking music, like, dude, you wonder why I love wrestling so much. Wrestling and music were the 2 things that kept me alive as a kid. The 2 things. So, yes, Head Like a Hole was mine. Yeah. Go ahead, Wade. Next album.
That I would love to cover that song with one of my bands someday.
Oh, I would tell that's
It's
totally
all up
do
here,
it.
but I would
Do
love to do
it.
that.
Do it.
I was able to see them for the first and only time at Riot Fest. I believe it was 3 or 4 maybe years ago, and that live show was, I believe I cried maybe once. It was just impactful. Trent Reznor is just, he's a presence, man. That whole band, every single musician in that band is just on another level.
They certainly have a legacy that is revered by many. Indeed, that's true.
Yes. So I don't know if you'll know these next few.
Listen, I'll take an
But
education. Never
you're
too
gonna
old to learn
know.
something.
So this is a little shout out to some really good friends of mine. They're called Action Adventure from right here in Chicago.
Nope, I'm
They've
not
been-
familiar with that one, but that's a hell of an album cover.
Yes. The guitarist of this band named Brompton Jackson is also the guitarist in my band Knockout Kid. So we've played many a shows with these guys. and
Well
they've
done,
actually-
Bronson. That's an album cover to be proud of.
Absolutely.
See,
they've
that's what
actually-
people forget. Album covers, that's why records are amazing, because album covers were meant to be big, not
Mhm.
something on your phone screen.
Right.
Cool album. You know how many albums I bought historically because I thought the album cover was badass? Some of them suck, but some of them you'd get lucky and they're amazing.
Yeah, it's the hook. It hooks you in. You are immediately taken by the artwork or whatever, a picture, whatever
Visual
it is.
stimulus is important, even in
Right.
music.
And then they carry it over to the live show, those bands that can afford the production side of things. And it just all ties in just like a big art piece.
That
And
is amazing. That's perfect.
I love it.
Action
yeah.
adventure. That's awesome.
Action Adventure. This album is called Imposter Syndrome, which is something I can absolutely relate to. I'm sure all of us can from time to time.
From time to time.
They are from, I believe they're from the suburbs. The city and the suburbs. They actually took me out on tour with them last year a couple times. They did a few shows with the band Newfound Glory and this band, 4 Years Strong, who's from Boston. They're a very aggressive pop punk hardcore band.
I have heard of them.
Yes, they've been around for a while. And we were able to tour with them in Newfound Glory last year. Did a few festival dates, and it was a dream come true for me. I was able to work with my friends, be on tour with my friends, and get to watch and meet and hang out with some of my favorite bands of all time. So it was quite an experience, and I'll always be grateful and thankful to these guys, and will support them in whatever they do. So thank you, Action Adventure. Love you guys.
Kudos to them. Newfound Glory. They played a lot in Chicago historically. The record store that I worked at was called Off the Alley, and this was back in the early 90s. I don't think they had been around all that long at that point. But I seem to remember we had some of those shows in this little juice bar, and I believe they were one of them. And I remember there being a pretty big crowd and there was quite a buzz about him. We had some really cool bands at Off the Alley. A lot of the band called the Tossers was a big deal at the time.
Yeah.
Just so much cool music. But that's a great story.
Thank you. Yeah,
I'm ready for the next one.
So
Candy.
this one, I mentioned this band earlier. This is not the original album artwork. This is a limited pressing. I have the number and everything down there, the limited stamp or whatever you want to call it, but it's a double album by the band Under Oath.
Yeah, you talked about them earlier.
They're Only Chasing Safety, which was their breakout early 2000s full length, and then they released Define the Great Line a few years after that, and they became a force within the aggressive music scene. And they were a Christian band. I'm not sure if they've crossed over into secular exclusively or not, but they've toured the world and released a lot of innovative not techno, electronic elements to the heavy sound. They have a keyboardist and a drummer that sings, which is pretty unique to the style of music. So I've always loved stuff like that. Just musicians that think outside the box. They kind of stick to a certain genre, but they'll throw in some, a little mix of this, a little mix of that, and it just is something brand new. So I just love that.
Look at Rion. Rion is standing and delivering with illustrations.
Awesome.
That's cool.
But my final selection here means a lot to me because I was a big part of it. And that one is Knockout Kid.
Hey! The hometown boys.
This was our big, came out in 2016. I say big. It was big to us. We acquired somewhat of a fan base around the world. We were able to tour to Belgium, over in Europe, and play a festival called Groesrock. Shared the stage with bands that headlined Rancid, Sum 41, The Movie Life, 4 Year Strong played, tons of bands. And we were able to meet. We stayed at the hotel, same hotel as 4 Year Strong, and Hatebreed also played. I don't know if you're familiar with them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was the peak. I keep saying the peak of my music career was that festival where we got flown out, all expenses paid, put us up in a hotel, and just rub elbows with some of the people that, allowed us to start our own band. It was crazy.
We talked a little bit earlier in the show about C-Red, getting to NWA and what that meant to him. As a musician, to actually have an album you're on, an album you created, and to hold that album in your hand. I did this. I made this. I mean, I can only imagine and dream what that is like, but is that the best feeling in the world to know that in that vinyl, on those grooves, your voice and your vision is captured forever?
It was surreal. We actually, and it feels weird to go into a record store physically and try to look for your own band's record, but seeing it on the shelves amongst the greats and the legends, it is it's something that I can't really explain, honestly. It's euphoria, and all the effort and the hours that we put into writing the music, to recording it, to performing it live. It's a culmination, and it's just like a oh shit moment. Like, I did this, we did this, and you're able to just go to the store and buy it. So it's crazy.
That is
all I can really say.
So when you're making a record, how long does the process, when you were doing when you're doing the Knockout Kid record, the process, was it quick? Did you guys come up with the songs very rapidly? Was it over a period of time? How long does it take to put something together like that?
So we might be an outlier in this, but the first record that I joined the band with was prior to this one, and it was called It Comes with the Job Description. And all the songs were already written, already structured, all the melodies, lyrics were written. So when I joined, all I had to do was kind of show up, and I had listened to the songs for months, weeks at a time, to not memorize. I put my own sort of flavor on them, but it took us maybe 2 days total to record a full-length album. But that
Wow.
was because we had prepared, thankfully, and that was the only one we really did that with because we were younger and had the stamina and the stubbornness to kind of go through with it. But yeah, that's kind of what built the chemistry within Knockout Kid, and the songwriting process was kind of not the standard we wanted to hold ourselves to, because in recent years with Manic and with Hero Insomniac that came out in 2020, we took our sweet ass time with them, maybe a little too long, but there were some outside factors that kind of hindered the progress of everything. But it is
Everybody
nice.
got hindered in 2020. That was
Yeah.
a
Oh, yeah.
clusterfuck of a year.
Well, yeah, we had recorded all the songs that we put out in 2020 for an EP. It was only 5 or 6 songs, but we had previously recorded them like 2 or 3 years earlier. So we were sitting on all these songs and then had to pick and choose what we wanted to put out, just to be like, hey, we're still a band. Don't forget about us. I know the pandemic's crazy, but we're still doing stuff.
So what is Knockout Kid doing in 2023? Are you guys still doing stuff? Is it still a thing? Or are you guys going to put out new music in the upcoming years?
So like I just mentioned there, we were in the studio last year, working with a producer named Seth Henderson, works at ABG Studios out in Crown Point, Indiana, so not too far. We stayed there for about a week and we wrote in the studio and recorded 4 new songs. Some of the best stuff we've ever written, because Brompton, our guitarist that I mentioned earlier in Action Adventure, he was part of the writing process this time because he joined later on after these albums were made. And then this is kind of his introduction into the songwriting, thing with us. So we are putting out new music, hopefully at some point. It might just be a single by single sort of thing with music videos accompanying. But we recently had to make a big change. I won't say too much now because we haven't made it public. So we're dealing with some inner workings of the band that we have to kind of iron out and sort through before we say anything. So we're definitely still active and more focused than ever, and we can't wait to release some new music.
That's amazing. Knockout Kid, check them out. Find them on your streaming services and YouTube, wherever you get your stuff. I'm sure it's worth a listen. I'm listening to you speak. I usually hear you with a lot of bass in your voice.
Sure.
You are an incredibly soft-spoken human being. You're very clear, very intelligible. Not that you're not clear and intelligible when you're doing your thing, but my God, I've heard you sing. I've heard you belt out vocals before. And I see you at CSW monthly, and talking to you right now for probably the longest period we've ever spoken, without crowd noise in our ears. You are incredibly soft and well-spoken, my friend.
Thank you. I definitely been told that before. I guess it's a compliment. I pride myself on being the big voice guy, and the belter, right, and projection is key. But to hear you say that, that's also a skill I guess I have. So thank you for saying that.
I could listen to this all day. My co-host, do you have any more music related questions for young Wade here, or should we move this right into the big voice and the big moments in Franklin Park?
I say let's just keep going. I mean, in my head right now, I'm listening to Kiss. So.
Did you say Kiss?
Yes.
You're listening to Kiss right now.
In my head, yes.
And what Kiss song are you listening to in your head?
Destroyer.
All right. Well, okay. I was just curious because I'm still looking at you with George Michael here, and I just can't get that out of my head.
You have to understand my music range is all over the place.
Oh, I know. We've talked.
So, I mean, again, you cannot classify me with one genre. So, again, from Paul and Gene to shit, Metallica, shit. Hell, it don't matter. So, I'll go in tomorrow and fucking I'll play any range of music, and again, my kids will be, huh? You listen to this? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I might even play Knockout Boys. And, huh? What? What are we listening to? I don't care. Don't worry about it. Just sit there, eat your breakfast, be quiet.
we're gonna start a trend, and Wade's band is gonna become. And there you go. There it is. Well, that happened a lot faster than I thought. And they got the cross earring, which I think is what sells that.
Oh my God.
That hair.
Andrew was having issues with his iPad, so he had to switch to his phone, which is why it's not as clean as it would normally be, but
it's still pretty fucking great. You can't wear that hair, C-Red. I think it's hilarious, but I'm uncomfortable by it at the same time. It's making me feel
giving Blanche Devereaux.
I don't know what that means, but
the Golden Girl.
Blanche
You
Devereaux.
don't know
Oh
who
my
Blanche
God.
is?
You just hit me with a Golden Girl. I wasn't even looking for the Golden Girl. You slapped me in the face with it. All right, this show has taken a completely different direction than I thought.
You took it there.
I did.
Always.
I got excited about the music. I don't get to talk about music very much, and I really miss it. So this Friday night, Franklin Park, CSW, in the heat of the night, and Wade will be there.
Heat of the night.
All right, that was good, but don't quit your day job. Just kidding, NWA. I'm just kidding. That's on me. That's me. That's my fault. Okay, so before we start talking about CSW, which we will talk about at length in a minute, you're in Knockout Kid. You're doing music. You've been doing that. When and how did you make the transition from Wade, the lead vocalist, to Wade, the ring announcer? Because there has to be a story.
So, harping back to the pandemic, it was the lack of live shows. We weren't able to get booked anywhere. Nobody knew what the guidelines or restrictions would be, opening up venues, doing limited capacity stuff. So that started to take a mental toll on me, having, come from playing a show every other month or what have you, and just not being able to have that outlet of aggression or screaming or singing into a microphone and having the interaction with the crowd, or my bandmates even couldn't even see them for a year or however long it was. So that kind of, I watched a lot of wrestling over the pandemic as well, and even before, of course. And I actually reached out to a friend, Mandy, who I'm sure you know, Steve.
I do.
And she got me in touch with Steve Boss, gave me his email, and I reached out, and she said, hey, just ask him. She gave me a few names and his email, and I was able to just reach out and say, hey, I've been doing music and vocals for this long, trying to kind of wondering if you guys are in need of a new ring announcer or somewhere to start, kind of an entry level thing, maybe just a match or two here and there. And that was really the story. The trying to supplement a live performance vocally. I was watching a ton of wrestling and loved watching the ring announcers, because I'm sure nobody really pays attention for the most part, and just kind of seeing how they do their thing. Justin Roberts, Nina Garcia, all the old, Finkel, all the legends, and the Buffer brothers. And I would just watch YouTube videos and go back and see all the different styles and all the different types of events that these kinds of people do. So I was able to reach out to Steve, and he graced me with an email back and said, hey, yeah, come out to, this is when they were running shows out of the Gear and Prep gymnasium. And I showed up and met Steve Kenton. I met you, Steve, there. I believe you're managing a tag team. I forget the name.
I forget the name too.
But I do believe we debuted at CSW with CSW around the same
We
time.
sure did. Yes, we did.
But yeah,
God,
that's basically
few
the
years.
story.
It's been a few minutes. So do you do ring announcing just for CSW, or are you working other places?
So I have, it's been, I guess, what was that 2019? Started with CSW. I also have a friend, excuse me, down in Chattanooga, Red Bank, Tennessee, named Jaden Newman. He runs, he's a professional wrestler and trainer down there. He runs a promotion called TWE Chattanooga, available on IWTV as well. And he was, had been a big fan of Knockout Kid since before I met him. And that's kind of how I was introduced to him. When he would post his highlight, his wrestling highlight videos, and would have our songs attached, and he'd tag us in them. And I would just reach out and be like, hey, you run this promotion, I'm trying to get into ring announcing. It was a similar thing with Boz, but down there, and made the trip a few times for some of their bigger pay-per-view style shows, and also did a bit of commentary down there as well.
Oh, well, hey, pull up a seat, young man. Well, I might not have a job after tomorrow, so I don't know if I can employ you otherwise, but man, I would love to do commentary with you. That would be a blast.
That would be awesome.
I'm going to talk to the people that I need to talk to, especially if I'm out of a job and I'm just doing commentary. We need to make that happen. I want that to happen.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. That's amazing. All right. So you're at CSW, and what have you thought, about your tenure at CSW? I mean, if you started in 19 like I did, I mean, we're 4 years in.
Yeah. It's definitely grown. Just seeing even the talent, Sky Blue, Mario on NWA, like seeing these people, these wrestlers that I met young in their careers and young in mine as a ring announcer. It was cool to kind of come up with them and see where wrestling is taking them. And I feel proud, even though I had nothing to do with their success. It was an honor and a privilege to ring announce these people. And it's been awesome. I love it.
Yeah, you were introducing Sky Blue before it became the it thing to introduce Sky Blue. So you were a trailblazer. That's pretty cool.
They've given me huge opportunities. Luchasaurus, the Marche match was the main event.
That was big.
Was that Dynamite back?
Dynamite had to be
2021, maybe.
That was before the pandemic. That was February of 20. And then we had Rhino in March of 20. And then after that show, the world just shut down.
Yep. Was able to meet Tommy Dreamer back at Gear and Prep when he did the match with Filth King. And Shotzi was there as well at that same show.
That's right.
It's been an adventure, and I'm loving every second of it.
Do you enjoy meeting the people that the special attractions that they bring in? They don't do it all the time, but they do it. It kind of runs in packs with CSW. They'll bring in the special attraction talent every now and again. How are you enjoying it? Who have you met that you dug?
So Shotzi was awesome to meet. Tommy Dreamer, that was kind of growing up watching him was, I was a little intimidated. I get a little intimidated meeting them, just going up to them backstage and asking all their info while they're trying to go through their match or whatever.
Right.
So it's a little nerve wracking, but I introduce myself, try to fake it till I make it, and get the info as much as I can and try to put a little spin on it and, make sure they're cool with all that stuff. But usually it's pretty cut and dry. They've got, their normal stuff, or they don't really do anything too crazy, but it's been great. I've been able to, get some merch, take some pictures. But I try not to be a huge bother while they're there, focused on their matches and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've always had trouble myself. You want to meet everybody and at least converse. But if there was more time, I think I'd like to take pictures and all those things. But usually by the time I'm ready to do something like that, the night is over and they've either gone or they're in the backstage area, talking to Boz and the cool people. So you don't get the opportunity for having. How excited are you for our special guest on Friday? Of all the guests we've had, this is the one that I find myself borderline marking on more than any other. I loved this guy. When he was Mr. Kennedy in WWE, I thought he was the second coming of God. When that mic would come down and I thought that was the coolest fucking thing I'd ever seen. And then obviously he took it on the road and was Mr. Anderson, and it's kind of Anderson now. But I'm so excited. I mean, I shouldn't be as excited as I am because bad things happen when I get this excited. But I might actually ask for a picture with Mr. Anderson. And of all the years I've been doing this, I have never once gone up to a talent like that and say, hey, can I take a picture with you? I mean, I'll pay for that shit because he meant that much to me growing up. He was fantastic. What do you think of Mr. Anderson?
I haven't watched extensively his work, but I am familiar with him. Obviously, Mr. Kennedy doing the ring announcer thing,
Yep.
the gimmick there. So I feel like I'm gonna have an easy night on Friday. Actually, when his match comes around, I'm gonna be taking that match off probably for the most
He's probably
part,
going to ask
besides
you
his
for the
opponent.
mic and he'd say, step
Yeah.
aside, son, let me handle this or some
Maybe
such
we
thing.
can rig up one of his old school style microphones.
God, wouldn't that be awesome? Oh man, that would put it on like a fishing hook and roll it, right? Oh, the possibilities, the possibilities. There's a lot of great things, a lot of great matches happening this Friday. I'd be interesting to get some of your take on some of these things that are happening because in the heat of the night historically has been a pretty important show over time. I mean, we remember what Brubaker and Vic Capri did at some big matches happen there. This seems to be a show where big moments happen and all these matches are big fight feel. Starting obviously with our champ Conan Lycan, who I don't like very much, taking on my beloved Mr. Anderson. So I can tell you that commentary is going to be fairly heavily biased. People say you shouldn't be biased as a commentator. Bullshit. I'm gonna be biased. If I need to be biased, I'm gonna be biased. And this is the Hate Keepers have been a pain in my ass for a calendar year. So I am certainly going to be pulling for Mr. Anderson. When you're sitting back there, you're sitting in your spot, which is kind of off to the side. Do you get a lot of time to take in the matches? Are you watching or are you going over your notes? What are you doing between times where you have to get up and go?
Well, I'm kind of a tornado in my head during show day. Back there, I'm usually trying to coordinate with the talent to make sure I get all the info to say when their matches roll around. But I do like to watch the monitors in the back and kind of peek around the curtain or peek through the little truss area when I can. Depends on who's wrestling. I do have some favorites. I won't say them here because I don't want to be biased as the ring announcer.
Well, plausible deniability. I get it.
But there are some that I look forward to more than others, and some that I get pleasantly surprised by. And just being a fan of wrestling for so long, it's really cool to be a part of it now in some way, and be able to enjoy it at the same time. It can be nerve-wracking, but it's always a fun time.
Is there a match that you are particularly looking forward to this particular show day? I mean, obviously we got Lycan and Anderson. That's the graphic he's got up there. But, we've got a lot of matches. I mean, Joey Mayberry and Iniestra. You've got Marche Rocket and JJ Garrett. You've got Team Sexy versus Pardua and Vic Capri. I mean, there are some very interesting matchups here. You've got the Monsters Ball match, if you could call it that, where you've got the Dragon of the Pacific versus Cypher versus Hades X1X. I mean, you want a good old fashioned monster movie on a Saturday night. You get to go there Friday and see it.
Yeah, the big Haas battles are personal favorites of mine. Just to see what they're able to do out there with each other, and even during the entrances. I'll kind of be a bystander sometimes, so I like to get out of the way of the monsters.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, I have a footprint there on my head, but that match is a big one. But I'm also looking forward to the Bruise Brother debacle match. I know you.
I am not necessarily looking forward to that very much at all, personally.
Just to see the Bruise Brothers going head to head. Finally, we get some resolution. Maybe TJ's he's been dangling the carrot out there, and Boss is, I think, fed up with it.
Yeah. And did you hear today's new stipulation that got added?
Uh-oh, I have not.
You have not heard the stipulation. Well, I mean, obviously, TJ has me at a bit of a disadvantage, but, I've kind of shoehorned myself in as special guest referee, even though I've never refereed before. So this will be a learning experience. Not a great time to be learning the job on the fly, but we'll get there. Obviously, my job is on the line. So if Boz loses, then I'm out of a job. But if Boz wins, I don't have to pay the $20 million. Why I have to pay $20 million myself is ridiculous, but that's neither here nor there. But if TJ loses now, he's out of CSW. We got that stipulation in post. So it's him or me. One of us has got to go. And that's an added gravitas to what's happening on Friday night. I'm not looking forward to it because it just seems like it's going to be a cluster. I just hope that I can do an effective job refereeing for real because, the referees we have, whether it be Ref Dev or Turtle or Kevin Woods, these are professional guys that have been doing it for a long time and they're really good. And my goal is not to go out there and, besmirch what they mean to this business. Good referees are hard to find. But, I felt like the table was going to be slanted against me with the shenanigans of Team TJ that I felt like I needed to be there to at least somewhat enforce some kind of justice. And I felt like being a ref would be a good idea. I don't know. Wade, what are you thinking? Are you thinking maybe we want to change at CSW? Are you pulling for TJ? Would you like to see the era of TJ Steele as general manager come to fruition, or are you looking forward to maybe me getting another crack at it going into year 5?
You
don't have to answer it. I will start weeping. I will cry like a child.
Answer.
TJ has promised some things out on social media.
Oh no! Oh damn it!
To me personally, I don't know if he's a man of his word. He seems to not be. So I take that with a grain of salt. So I would love nothing more than you to be forever GM of CSW.
Oh, now see, Rachel, you need to have that be the wrestling gift for the Power Hour this week. That's cool.
I can arrange that. It's not a wrestling gift. It is a TikTok video. It is a clip.
I'm 53 years old. Like I have a clue what TikTok means. I mean, I know what it is, but I don't.
You're literally on it.
I am, but I have no idea what I'm doing. It never works out. Anyway, that's another thing.
Right, he just stalks my page for new.
I stalk. Well, that's because you sing some beautiful songs, Red, with no shirt on. You're just too sexy.
Whatever.
I can pull those up if you want. Don't get high and
good.
mighty on me, Mr. NWA.
We're good.
Wade, are you at all interested in what might be one of the most entertaining matches of the night, that being Big Mood putting their titles along the line against Avalon and Sierra, Team Evra?
Do love seeing them team up in mixed tag matches. Their chemistry is great. Obviously, they're a real couple. And Sierra, still the reigning women's champion of CSW.
That is a fact.
So bringing that prestige against the tag team champions in Big Mood, I feel like that might steal the whole show. That match right there. Big Mood has elevated themselves, getting the straps on them. Shouldn't say straps on, but
no, not when it comes to Mateo. Don't ever say that. Oh boy, we're gonna get canceled for sure. Anyway, moving on. Do you think it's at all possible that the domestic situation between Sierra and Avalon that has been developing over the last couple of months, do you think that is in any danger of making them a little unbalanced?
It's hard to say. Being the ring announcer, I see only what I see when I'm out there. Usually I do see stuff in the back, but try to stay out of it for the most part. That's a personal thing that they've kind of got to sort out, and I hope they'll be able to sort it out before Friday, because this is a big match, maybe the biggest match as a team that they've ever wrestled before.
They could be the next CSW tag team champs. Wouldn't that be a hoot?
Yeah.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be a very fun night. You know me, I like a scramble match. We have a scramble match every month. I like my eggs scrambled, and I like my matches scrambled too. You've seen us do scramble matches before, but this is like a ladies' choice scramble match. And, you know, you've got Heather Reckless, her reputation precedes her. You've got Bombshell Shelley, maybe one of the most popular stars at CSW right now. But then you have the next generation. You have the gals that have the youth that are bringing it at every Futures Royal. And Haven Harris and Maggie Lee have gone up, and they're everywhere now. You look online, Maggie Lee is a champion here. Haven Harris is causing problems here. And then Ms. Belmont, as we will call her, she has been a force of nature in all of the pre-show and Futures Royal things. So you've got two powerful women, and you've got three women that are heavy on the uprise. What do you see happening in a match like this?
There's always seems to be some sort of debauchery when Heather is involved in a match, be it with former protege Cypher. I'm not sure if he'll be involved or show up. Hopefully not. And we'll get a nice clean match this time around. But you never know. The Devil's Little Princess, always up to something.
She does have her hands in many, many things. But then you got Shelley. I mean, does that place not explode when she comes out?
Yeah. Master of the milkshake.
It is the era of Shelley and her milkshake, bringing all the fans to the yard indeed. Another match I'm really looking forward to is the Metra Division title match. Now, obviously, Iniestra kind of stole that title. You know, that was not exactly the greatest victory for him. He had much help in becoming the new Metra Division champ, but he is fighting a man that I think right now, pound for pound, might be one of the most entertaining wrestlers across the board in the dad bod demigod, Joey Mayberry. Is this the night that Joey Mayberry becomes a champion?
I could see it happening. Joey's only elevated since I've seen them wrestle. Jillian by his side, filming, documenting everything. Joey on the mic and in the ring is very fierce, very, attention demanding. Can command a room by yelling at his opponent and just setting up for the next move. And his move set is pretty devastating from what I've seen. So Iniestra's in for a fight for sure. And I don't know if his TJ crew will be able to help him with this one, but I'm looking forward to that match as well.
I'm not asking you to be biased, but wouldn't it just be a moment in time you're glad to see if Joey Mayberry becomes the Metra Division champ? I know Stan Payne will have heart failure on commentary because Stan loves Joey.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Joey seems to be a fan favorite. Hosting the drinking contest not too long ago. Just
that was wacky.
Yeah, it was. But going out there, being able to do anything and winning a title here at CSW is not something that, they're absolutely capable of doing it.
It's going to be a hell of a night this Friday night in Franklin Park. And, nobody knows that better than ring announcer Wade, who is right there in the middle of everything. Next match we're going to talk about, I want to bring Red into it a little bit as well, because he knows these two probably better than anybody. Obviously, with his past connections and with his Dreamwave connections, you've got All Day Marche Rocket fighting JJ Garrett in a one-on-one singles match. Red, what are your thoughts?
All day.
Okay, well, that's easy to say, but why? I mean, JJ Garrett he's a tough competitor. He's got every move in the book and then some.
I'm not saying JJ isn't tough. I'm not saying
your NWA bias.
Yes, I am. See, I could be biased. Yeah,
I know.
Not like they bringing me in, right? Okay. So, again, when you keep saying Marche is 6 foot talent in a 10 foot talent in a whatever.
6 tool
Like,
talent in a 5 tool world.
there you go. All right, you said it. I did. For everything that Garrett thinks he has learned, Marche has learned and mastered. Again, not saying now. Again, every now and then, dog finds a bone. So I'm not saying it's not impossible. But again, if we are playing poker, again, I'm pushing all in. Again, this is Marche all day Rocky. Come on now.
Did you say all in?
I said if
You
we
trying
were
to
playing
tell us something else? Are you not? Are you dropping Easter eggs, C Red?
no, I am not. Trust me.
It had to be done.
They don't want me. So
Wade, you've been doing the heavy lifting for ring announcing since 2019. You've seen Marche Rocket do everything. I mean, you talked about him versus Luchasaurus, which might be one of the greatest matches in CSW history. That match was absolutely amazing. So you've seen Marche Rocket do some pretty impressive things, but Garrett has, since he debuted, has shown that he will stop at nothing to be victorious. And I do mean nothing. What does that mean to you when you think about these two locking horns?
Marche's definitely got the the experience and the size advantage over JJ, but JJ's been racking up wins here in CSW since he's debuted. Sneakily or not, he's been getting the W's and maybe can turn the tides and use Marche's, height and skill level against him in some way to roll him up or get, steal a pin just like that in a matter of moments. And I've seen Marche do some crazy things. Marche is one of my favorites at CSW. He always brings it and leaves it all out there in the ring, and he hits hard. I hear his chops are quite vicious.
Still have nightmares about those chops. You know what I think is the best thing about Marche is how as big and strong and aerial maneuver he can be, he never touches the ring guards. You know how the steel borders around the ring.
Sure.
He never touches them.
Huh.
Even though Hades, the powers that be say, don't go up against the ring, leave those alone, don't touch them. And Marche never touches them. I think that's an important thing.
Talking about the barricades.
The barricades
in front of the crowd.
In front of the crowd, the barricades.
Yeah,
Marche never touches those.
Never touches them.
I feel like that's a skill that he has mastered, how he never touches the barricades. It's like the barricades aren't even there. It's like he walks through raindrops and barricades. It's an amazing skill. If you know, you know. Another match. What do you think of the Hate Keepers? Let's talk about the Hate Keepers for a minute. How do you enjoy them screwing up everything always?
There was one match not too long ago. I was an insult was thrown my way as I was ring announcing the Hate Keepers, obliging them with a ring announcement. And Conan Lycan, he calls me a hippie as he walks by me and just gives me a cold shoulder and a mean look. And that's kind of stuck with me. So I don't have a lot to say about the Hate Keepers except they're a little creepy, a little out in their own world thinking, he is the champion now, so I can't say too many harsh things about the champion, but
how did he get it? Don't act like he actually, I went out there and out wrestled him and I come on now. Wait, I get it. You want to keep your job. I get it. Fuck it. I can say what you can't say. He won on some bullshit. I watched. I paid my $10.99 a month, so I can say what I want to say. So shit, I watch it. So bullshit. The hate keepers are a bunch of douchebags. Yes, I said it. I could say it. Guess what? I'm not employed by CSW. So douchebags. That's what they are.
I can see where you're coming from. They have the douche tendencies, ganging up on people, winning dirty, all that stuff. Conan, though, if he's out there by himself, has insane potential. All the moves he's able to pull off from the top rope, down on the floor, uses the ring to his advantage. He's a fun watch, definitely, no matter who he goes against. But I hope there's corrective action coming. Maybe Mr. Anderson can show him a thing or two about what a real champion should be and look like.
Douchey tendencies. Wade he came up to the precipice of insult, said his piece, and backed right down. That is very impressive. I put together an anti-hate keepers league to combat the hate keepers specifically. We've got Boucher, and we've got Marzin, and we got Shug. We got the three other hate keepers that aren't Conan Lycan. And I decided that, let's take three guys that can whoop each of them individually and then work together well collectively. So there's no way the hate keepers can win this match. So I went out and got the Moondog. Now, as long as the Moondog doesn't drink, we're fine. We know what happens when the Moondog drinks. He has attention lapses and things go badly. And then we've got the gatekeeper of CSW and Adam Stallion, one of the best wrestlers technically that I've seen in a while. And then we have Cody Country, the big guy, the bad guy, Cody James. Beat those guys. I think that this might be my last moment, but it might be the finest moment, because I feel like I've put together the A team to specifically take out the hate keepers. Yeah, I knew you were going to do that. I knew it was coming. I was going to get a little B.A. Baracus from you. We have talked about all the matches with the exception of one. And I saved it for last because, he's now under the employ of C. Red. So I figured Red would have a few things to say. Now, the unlikely tag team of Team Sexay, which is Ryan Matthews, who we have right here. Say hi to Ryan. There he is.
Ooh.
Look at those teeth. It's amazing.
Ooh.
And Jax Johnson. They are Team Sexy, and they are taking on the newest member of the ARC, the Polish powerhouse, Mario Pardua, and the icon, Vic Capri. Gentlemen, what about that team?
They're going to beat the brakes off them boys. Shit, call it for what it is. I mean, Ryan ain't going to be smiling. All them teeth ain't going to be there at the end of the night. And I'm going to be honest. So to manage Mario was an honor and a privilege. And which you can see what he has, where his skill level is at now is remarkable. Like, the stars the limits for this kid. Like, oh my God. It was hard to manage him because I was also in awe by, like, he gave it right back to Thomas Latimer. So it was like, shit. Like, okay. So you add that, and then we all know what Vic is capable of. Like, so I pray to God, plus, I think Vic has this chip on his shoulder. Like, I'm not going to say he feels like he's overlooked, but, I think people are still like, this old man can't do shit. And it's not until you get in the ring with Vic Capri and realize his ass can still go and when he goes, it's 100 miles an hour. Like, so they gotta hope that they can keep up. Jax is gonna get them little nappy things knocked out his head. Ryan is gonna have no teeth, And Team Sexay will be Team Dead Meat once this is all said and done.
I use that
Like-
in commentary. Team Dead Meat. I
like-
enjoy that. That's fun to say.
Like literally, Wade is probably going to have to right after this match come out, and he's gonna have to stall the crowd for at least a good 3 to 4 minutes. So Wade, I hope you got something that you can slide in there for 3 or 4 minutes, some jokes, or sing a song, because clearly, like,
Yeah, give us a little knockout kid. That would be pretty awesome.
somebody is gonna have to come and like get the dead body parts out the ring,
Squeegee, they have to get the squeegee out there.
whatever that y'all got to do to clear the ring. If y'all decide to call an ambulance, hey, that's fine. If not, I wouldn't be against that either. Just call their parents and tell them where the bodies is at. Let them come get them. Hey, instead of calling an ambulance, just call the coroner. So they can declare them dead. And, life can keep going. Why always put the middleman in? 911 shit. Just call the coroner. Yeah, we got 2 dead bodies. Yeah. Sorry. All right.
It's Chicago. It's not really
I
something.
mean, at that rate, just dump them in the river and go.
Yeah, but where CSW is from the river is so far. Now it would
We
be
got
a
train
easy-
tracks right behind. the
Right.
house.
I was getting ready to say you just put them in one of them abandoned train cars and just close the door and say fuck it. Like wherever they wind up, they wind up.
That's not entirely sanitary.
Do
I
we
was
care?
I'm happy that Rachel popped on with an anecdote. Rachel, what do you have to say about our guest Wayne and what he has said? Obviously, we have not given you time
Our
to
guest
say-
Wade.
what I
Wade.
I said Wade.
You said Wayne.
I did not
Happens
say
all-
Wayne.
Happens all the time.
I did
It's
not say
Wade.
Wayne. Come on. Okay. So Wade, what say you about what you've heard tonight?
I'm impressed. I did have another anecdote, but then I got distracted by the C-Red George Michael thing, and you know how I get when I hyper focus. But when you were saying like the difference between like an artist, but specifically like a metal singer and like who they are at home and everything. My best friend and her husband are actually pretty heavily in the metal scene in the UK. They run like Kuma Productions and stuff, and they have like bands like Chud and things like that. And they are the two like most stereotypically English people like you'll ever meet. Like they took me to high tea for my birthday. So it's like I totally get that. So but yeah, no, I mean personally, I think you were saying that like you cried seeing, who did you say you saw playing?
Nine
Nine
Inch
Inch
Nails.
Nails.
That's how I felt seeing Kelly Clarkson for the first time.
Ah, my
So-
Texas girl. Love Kelly
Yes.
Clarkson.
Kelly Clarkson is everything to me. But yeah, like I just respect it all because my dad comes up a lot for me on this podcast for some reason, considering he hated wrestling is kind of funny. But my dad loved music. And so I grew up with all kinds of music around me at all times. And like there's nothing that connects people better than music. And so it's really just nice to sit here and listen to your story of like being involved with it and where it's taken you in life.
That's awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So you like Kelly Clarkson? This is something I did not
Yeah.
know.
I've got some guilty pleasures for sure, but I have a soft spot in my heart for the original American Idol, Kelly
Mhm.
Clarkson. Being from Burleson, Texas, just outside of where I was born in Fort Worth, she holds a special place in my heart.
Kelly Clarkson is also a metalhead.
Yes, I believe it. She's also a Dallas Cowboys fan.
Can't be perfect.
Please don't
It's
tell me
true.
Wade, you're a Dallas fan. Wade,
I am C-Red. I'm sorry. I see blue and silver.
Oh, he doesn't see red anymore. He sees blue and silver.
Them boys, them Bears. I enjoy watching the Bears. Not last season. Oh,
Oh,
God.
see red quit. You
What have
just
I
made
done?
see red quit.
Hey, at least I'm not a Packers fan, right?
No, that's
Right.
fair.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have had you on. We had Russell on, and that went very badly
I
for
was
us.
just
Uh-oh.
gonna say, okay, yeah, Russell.
He came back.
I'm sorry.
Red is
T-Red.
wearing blue, and his chain is silver. So that's
No. Don't try to. No.
I'm just saying. I see blue right now and silver. I can't fault Wade for his observations. Oh no, Red, look down, don't look down.
Yes.
Now, okay, so we're gonna take this to another direction now.
Please.
As a Cowboys fan, top 5 Cowboy players of your lifetime.
Oh my God.
Well, a lot of them wear the number 88. Drew Pearson back in the day.
If you would have said Irvin over Pearson, I'd have been upset.
Ooh, big fan of the playmaker though as well.
Oh, yeah.
Deion Sanders, Emmitt Smith, Troy Aikman. When they were winning Super Bowls, and when I was just a wee boy and I didn't really know what else there was besides the Dallas Cowboys. So it's just something that I've come from and I've grown up loving, even though we haven't been back to the big show in about 20 years or so. So
Big Dak Prescott fan, are you?
no, I am a Dak fan, not a big one. He's been showing some signs of, that he's still got it, but that injury that happened not too long ago,
I was
I saw it
horrific.
live. Speaking of another time that I cried, that was at the beginning of the season, and I threw in the towel by that point. I was like, well, Cooper Rush is an adequate backup, but I don't know if he can go a full season.
But it was fun. I mean, you got to enjoy the effort. I mean, Cooper kept them floating for a while.
Yeah, surprisingly,
That was pretty cool.
He is serviceable for sure.
What about Tony Dorsett? You didn't mention Tony Dorsett.
I've seen lots of highlights. I was born in the 80s, but didn't get the chance to see a lot of the older school guys. I did get the chance to meet Roger Staubach though back a few years ago.
One of my
Okay,
favorite.
now
quarterbacks of
you
all
talking
time.
my language. Now you talking.
I worked an event where his daughter or son was receiving an award, and he sat front row with his wife, and we did all the audio and the video for a company I worked with back then. And his name was right there on a sign on the seat, and I was like, oh, the Dallas Cowboys quarterback Roger Staubach is gonna be here. And I kind of lost my shit that day, and hopefully didn't mark out too hard, because he was a fine gentleman.
So I did when I started this sports journey, I was a fan of Roger Staubach, which is stupid only for the simple fact I became a fan because in gym class, our gym teacher told us to color a picture of NFL players. Like, I don't know why he did it. So he passed out these pictures. We had to take them home. That was our homework assignment. So I had no freaking clue who this guy was. And of course, this is way before there was no internet, kids. You couldn't Google shit. Your phone was a rotary. Okay. So I had to ask somebody, like, who the fuck is Roger Staubach? And what's their colors? So the more I colored it, the more, like, I started reading into who he was and how great of a player he was. And I was like, oh, okay, this dude is pretty good. He ain't no Vince Evans, but,
Did you just say he ain't no Vince Evans?
Hey, I like Vince Evans.
I like Vince Evans too, but Vince Evans couldn't hold Roger Staubach's jock.
Hey,
None of these
Evans.
names mean anything to me.
Vince Evans was before his time. Vince Evans was the prototype to Michael Vick. Okay.
That's a bold statement there, my friend. I'm not sure how true it is, but I'll let it play. I'll let it play. That's a pretty interesting take there. That's
the only thing I know about Michael Vick is that he abused dogs, and I hope he burns in hell. So
and there you have it.
That's all I got.
Michael Vick is still one of the greats. He's
Will
one
he
of
be the greatest in the ninth circle of hell?
Agree to disagree, and we'll move right on from this hot button topic. We don't need this at all. And Rian goes to the Golden Girls, which is probably a safe bet there. Thank you for being a friend indeed. So Cowboy fan, now that you're here in Chicago and you've been here a while, you're warming up to the Bears, but there's really
Please don't. Please
there's
don't.
no reason to warm up to the Bears because the Bears probably in your lifetime have always sucked.
Yeah,
No, he said he was born in the 80s. So
85 was when they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Correct?
yeah.
I was born the year after that.
Yeah, so he's
Oh, the year they start dismantling shit, what Chicago teams do, you know. Oh, we build up champions, and then we said, all right, that's what.
Yeah, I've noticed the trend since then. It's been rough for Bears fans out here, it seems.
Well,
I'm going to be. Here's what is funny, Wade, about
here's the
Bears
funny part.
Sure, it can be the funny part. I don't care. The Bears are funny. That everybody every year, right? They start building up their hopes and building them up, and then preseason they keep building, and then like after the first two games, it's like, and then Bears fans are sitting the rest of the season, you know, oh, we gonna get them next year. Well, shit, this year ain't over with. So how we gonna get them next year? So I sit back and laugh. Now I will say I am looking forward to seeing what they can do this year. And honestly, because I think they started to put pieces around Fields. So do I see them winning the division? No. I actually have Detroit, then the Bears, Minnesota, and then the Packers for the division.
Kirk
But
Cousins is not a Sea Red fan right now.
Oh well, shit.
Sorry,
Happened.
Kirk, if you're watching this show.
He ain't.
Yeah, he ain't.
So again, I mean, now I might be able to be a Bears fan if they get this damn new stadium built. Because I refuse to go sit in anybody's goddamn negative 30-degree weather and drink flat beer and eat a cold hot dog by the time you get back to your seat. So, but
all that's keeping you from it. Bad beer, cold temperatures, and bad hot dogs.
This year, I have no dog in any fight. I'm just gonna watch football from a enjoyable perspective and watch everybody and see just what happens.
That's the way to do it. I've been do you play fantasy football at all, Sir?
Oh, of course. I am the reigning champion in 2 leagues. So we into next year. So we'll see what happens. I even your counterpart over there. I whooped his ass for the championship. Ask him how many points.
We can talk about that.
Ask him how many points, Wade. Ask him.
How many points?
It was a lot. It was a lot of points. It's not one of my finest hours. It seems like every time I do fantasy football, I have the number 1 draft pick, and I pick the best player, and that player gets hurt the next week.
Mm-hmm.
Christian McCaffrey killed me 2 years ago. Killed me. And then who did I take last year? I forget who I took. I took gonna be great, and he got hurt too. It was Derrick Henry. I think I took last year. And Derrick Henry,
backs.
Yeah, it didn't go very good for me. Didn't go very good at all, but that's okay. We learn it went great for you. See, Red auto drafts and still beats me. That's the hard part for me to stomach. He hasn't drafted in our draft ever, and I've played him 3 years. His team auto drafts every time, and he always beats me. He's just that coach that can take whatever he has and make it a winner.
Yep.
What about you, Wade? What's your what fantasy? How do you approach a fantasy draft?
So I've been playing fantasy for a few years now, and this year will be my first year doing a dynasty draft, which is the keeper league.
Oh, okay.
If you played Madden, any of the Madden games, it's like franchise mode where you draft, have one initial draft, and then you keep all the players rolling over to the next season after season, and then you're free to trade or release at any time throughout the season. So, I've fared
Did you
pretty
play
well.
Madden?
I play Madden. I haven't played the new one yet, but I do play
Wait,
Madden.
you are my guy.
Yeah. I do love franchise mode. That's my mode. Love it.
Well, 24 hasn't dropped yet, so I'm waiting. What is it? August, I think 18th or some shit like that.
Coming up. Yep.
I'm like,
Yeah.
you would drop it right after I go back to work. Like, you suck. Like,
Oh, Madden's it's a blast. I
see
like
that, Steve? That's what a championship belt looks like from fantasy. Something you would never have.
Nice.
Okay.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm not very good. I haven't. I used to play Madden all the time. When I was a younger man, when Madden would come out, you would take the day off of work so you could go get it early and then spend all day playing it. And I haven't done it in quite a few years. I've been Madden free now. I think the last time I bought a Madden game was 2018, I think, was the last time I played Madden. But you're talking about this franchise mode, and I've never really heard of it, but that sounds like something I might be interested in. So maybe at the ripe old age of 53, I'll pick Madden back up. I still have a game machine. I just haven't played in many years. So it'll be interesting to see how that works out. Thanks a lot, Wade. My wife is going to love you for this, and I'm going to hold you accountable.
Well,
Yeah,
franchise mode is the shit.
we can do a franchise together. We can go against each other if you'd like.
I
Show you the ropes.
I don't know if
competition is really good for me.
Wait, I don't know if his gamer machine works to the point where he can play with us.
Listen,
I
just got off of. Listen, I'm taking a pounding in Fortnite these days. Okay, I'm still trying to figure out how that works. The Rocket Pro Wrestling people keep on having me doing this this live stream on Twitch, and all I do is yell and chase chickens for the entire time. It's insane. I don't understand. I can't kill anybody except the goddamn chickens. It's obsessive. That's neither here nor there. That's a story for another show.
Truly a far better pursuit than actually playing Fortnite.
What now?
I said it's truly a far better pursuit than actually playing Fortnite.
Yeah, I am not good at it. My son has to sit there and coach me through it. So I'll go because I don't have the capability to play online, but he's got a PS5. So I go into his room and I'm like, all right, put me on this thing so I can do this. So I sit there and I'm sitting in a chair. I have no idea what's going on. He's like, all right, do this. And I miss the old controllers that had two things you had to do, and these things have buttons everywhere, and I have no idea what the hell is happening.
Yeah, they've come a long way. All the haptic feedback and all the.
It's too hard for an old guy like me to enjoy. I want my joystick back. Okay, that was the. Come on, Red. You know you like the joystick. Probably still do. Anyway, Wade. No, don't put that graphic up there. That was a very bad night for me. That was a bad night. That was a bad night of Fortnite. The fact that I'm even on that graphic is ridiculous. So you've got your music, you've got your wrestling. Is there anything else that Wade would like to do? I mean, the world of the voice is such an important thing. Voice actors are very sought after now because animated films and anime, they're always looking for strong voices. Would you ever want to venture into something like that?
So funny you bring that up. I am a voice actor as well. I've been training, taking online classes, doing coaching with industry professionals since around the same time I started doing ring announcing. It was kind of in the background. While I was training and doing classes online, I once a month would be going to do the ring announcing at shows. So I kind of took that on at the same time as this kind of flux of not being able to perform with my band at live shows. So I'm at home building out my studio, and that's typically on a weekday, weekend. That's what I'm doing. I'm here just sitting at home, looking for scouring the internet and certain sites for auditions, open casting calls for commercial animation, video games, all the things. And I'm actually taking a class now called Authentic Commercial Voiceover with the instructor's name is Dave Bisson, and he's actually based in Chicago. And he's doing some coaching, and I'm attending his online class right now.
So have you done anything? Have you had any jobs yet, or?
So along with the Chicago style wrestling stuff, the promos and commercials I help shoot with Derek, that's kind of been where I've been cutting my teeth doing the YouTube videos and stuff like that.
Can we just agree that Big D is one of the coolest fucking people
Oh, yeah.
on this earth?
Love Derek.
Derek,
He's the shit.
Love
he's,
Derek.
He's given me some opportunities to voice act and do announcer stuff within, you know, the CSW commercials and promos we do. And it's been more, he's been doing more, so he's been reaching out more, and we've been able to work together, and collabing with him has been sweet. But other than that, I've done some I don't know if you're familiar with the world of Dungeons and Dragons, of the old D&D.
I used to play when I was young, but I haven't been down that road in many moons.
We are a D&D household.
Nice. So there's a YouTube channel that does D&D skits, animated skits, called Heretical Funhouse. They have a few thousand subscribers, but I was contacted by a TA, a teacher's assistant, with the school that I attend voice acting classes online, and he works with a director and a writer of Heretical Funhouse that does these skits, and he's also a voice actor. So he reached out to me and asked if I wanted to audition for a certain role, and I ended up getting it just based off of that interaction and sending in my raw audition audio. And he's cast me for another role in an upcoming video that they have on YouTube, on their YouTube channel. And I can send you links or whatever for that. I've done some stuff for,
Please do.
yeah, absolutely. Some stuff for, and I have a link tree as well that has a bunch of samples of the videos that I've done announcer stuff and voice acting stuff in, so I can send you that as well.
That is really cool. I think you would be well suited for something like that. And you know, the animated films, I mean, they are so big now. You think about the animation, you know, you go on Disney Plus, and they have 16 different Star Wars shows, you know, all of the Marvel stuff. You know, right now, one of the biggest movies in the world is the new Spider-Man universe one. So voice acting is, you know, a lot of stars are doing it. You know, a lot of people that act, you know, on screen do a lot of voiceovers too. But it's so popular right now. God, your voice is so distinctive. I mean, it seems like a no-brainer to me that you would transcend into that venue, because it seems well suited for you. I mean, you certainly have the studio to do it, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's been the main driving force of it all, and consulting with peers in the voice acting community and audio producers and studio owners, just getting their opinions and their information and learning all the stuff. It's been a whirlwind and a lot of information to take in, but I've been able to dial in the sound and the quality better than I have in the past. So it's learned a lot, and I'm learning every day even more.
You know, in order to pursue dreams like this, you have to have a solid family background. How happy are your family for you thriving the way you are?
Well, they're still stuck in Texas, I'll say. They have supported me since day one, since the ripe age of 15, when I was singing in punk rock cover bands. They drive me to the venue and stay for the shows and help me sell merch, and they've been nothing but supportive. And I owe the majority of my drive and passion for anything really to them, because they've been there, and whatever I've wanted to do, they've shown up and supported in every aspect. So it's been a blessing for sure.
10 years from now, where would you like to see the big voice guy go? What would you, if we're doing this podcast in 10 years, what would you like to be talking about at that point? Shut up, C-Red. It could happen.
I'd like to be talking about my own show, maybe around then. Podcast narration would be cool. Doing big spots for national TV, starring or co-starring in an animation or big AAA video game would be. That's the peak that I hope to reach in this industry, and then also still hopefully doing wrestling, maybe stepping into a commentator role or still doing ring announcing because I love it so much.
You know, one of the people on this show seems to be doing well at NWA. Maybe he can get you in up for the road to 75.
Hey. Well, yeah, if anybody out there listening ever needs a ring announcer, I am willing to travel, and I go on plenty of vocal rests. I don't drink a lot of alcohol. Smoke a little bit
So,
of weed,
how do you feel about roller derby?
I've been interested in it for a while. I've never been to a live show. I know back in Texas they have a lot of events.
Yeah, TXRD. We've got a couple TXRD skaters on our league now.
Nice. Yeah, no,
So,
it's always been something cool and something I've,
So
loved.
I'll send you the info for our season,
Sure.
and then I'll connect you with Ash, who runs the Chicago Knockouts, fittingly to go with Knockout Kid.
Nice.
Maybe we can collab on a song there.
Yeah.
And yeah, we you would even get to announce and commentate with Steve.
Well, there's the end right there, Steve.
Yeah, hey, I'd love to have you. You know,
That'd be
there
awesome.
are some events that I won't be able to make later in the year, and they're always looking for good commentary people. That you would fit like a glove there, and
Awesome.
they would love you and your charisma and your voice and your presentation. It's a no brainer. Yeah, we got to get that. We got to make that happen. That'd be huge.
I would love that.
It's amazing.
I'll be in touch.
Oh, now you got the main knockout on your team. That's a good thing to have. That's how they got me. They got me because Rachel said, "Hey, come out and try this. I think you'll be good at it." And that was all it took.
Yeah, we got to take the risk, and sometimes there's
Exactly.
a reward.
Exactly.
Red, if I'm not interrupting you, whatever you're doing, I need some roses for our friend Wade, who has been one of the most interesting guests we've ever had. Come
Yes,
on, listen. I know you're NWA now, but you still got to do the roses.
Look, would you stop? Wade, so you impressed me during the Ripper Manson December induction. So I was there and I got to hear you. And I was like, well, damn, where they get this guy from? Like shit. Pretty damn good. Then I again showed up the following year to induct Willie, me, Marche, and Jazz. Again, so I'm there, but this time I'm not in the front, I'm in the back. But your voice is so powerful. Like I didn't have to wonder where in the car were we because you were so clear and concise. I could understand what match was going on. And I loved how the audience interacted and interacted with you. Then I turned on the very first IWTV event. And from the moment you tried to talk, I literally got on the phone and text Bob and was like, dude, y'all need to fix the mics. The sound sucks. Like I can't hear the ring announcer. And it wasn't because of you. It was because of audio. And I knew it was a new thing. Everybody was trying to work the bugs out. But I'm saying that to say, you make, at least for me, want to pay attention to what is getting ready to be presented to me as a fan. Now that I have sat here tonight and heard you and all this wonderful stuff, like, dude, first of all, fuck it, you're in the band, dude. Shit, rock on, bro. Like, shit, like, if you playing in Chicago, shit, let me know. Shit, I'll come. Like, what a wonderful guy you are, dude. Like, and your drive and willpower, like, is a breath of fresh air. Most people nowadays, they quit. You know, we live in a society where people just say, fuck it. Okay, I quit. Not only have you not quit, you didn't quit music, then you're doing ring announcing whenever you get a chance here and other places. And now you're fucking doing voiceovers? Like, really? Are you fucking kidding me? Now, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not an anime guy. I'm not.
Yeah, I'm not either.
So I used to be when it started, and then it got so clamored that I couldn't keep up with shit. So I just said, fuck it. But dude, you are a wonderful human being. Dude, I love the fact that you have clear audio. So we can hear you tonight. We don't have to try to figure out what the hell is he saying. Dude, I just but as far as wrestling, dude, I hope you get all the opportunities. I hope you are able to go to Chicago Knockouts and take over there. Shit, I would love to see you in other places. Dude, you're just a great dude. Like, I'm loving the vibe. And again, I'm kind of like Steve. Once you start talking about music and all this, dude, I was like, fuck it, I'm good. I'm sold. Like, this dude is on. And the one thing throughout the whole night, and for people that are listening or will be listening, they won't be able to see that smile. Like, for me tonight, that smile has brightened a already special night for me. Like, so I thank you for coming on, giving us your time, and just being such an awesome fucking person, dude. Awesome, like, dude, shit. I wish more people in this world would have your drive and tenacity and determination to make shit in life just happen. So keep going, my friend. You are one of the good ones.
Thank you. That is music to my ears. Thank you, C-Red. It's hard sometimes. I've thought about giving up multiple times, but having people around me, having my family, having my girlfriend, my friends saying you can do it, and you here now saying it, so it means a lot. I appreciate it,
dude. When you said your family supported you, so it's crazy. I am a supporter of a guy by the name of Mike Quackenbush. He started a company years ago.
Chikara.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, we were blessed to work for Quackenbush. So now he does these videos called Till We Make It on YouTube. And the last video just came out was your family doesn't support you. So it was funny hearing his story about how his family didn't support him. And I felt all of it. I was like, oh shit. My daddy didn't give two fucks. And shit, my mama just tonight was the first night in 19 years. Nobody seen my life. 19 years. I had to stop her from what she was doing. And only because she was down there. And show her me being on NWA. So to have your family behind you, dude, is like gotta be a fucking great feeling. Like, I'm not taking anything away from anybody else that's been in my life, but for me, I only had a mother and a father. And to know it took years to get my father behind me. And my mama still couldn't give two shits if I walked in with the NWA heavyweight championship talking about I won. She wouldn't give a shit. She wouldn't give a shit if I was on Monday Night Raw. She just wouldn't give a shit. It is what it is. But to know, dude, that you do have that support and you do have that support system around you, dude, you are blessed. And never lose sight of that. That, for those that don't have it, wish we did, and keep shooting for the stars, dude. I can't wait till you tell us when the next album is coming out or even single shit. And, you have something you and Steve talked about earlier. You can hold your record in your hand and say, I did this. In wrestling, we get photos and video, but it's rare that you get, and every now and then you get an award or something, but to know that you started a project, finished the product, and like you said, now people are able to go into the fucking store. If there are a few, I know there are a few left.
You.
And pull up.
Grace Planet of Sound, Lincoln Square. Go see it. Great record store.
And there you're able to hold your record. Like, that's got to be an awesome feeling, dude. So I'm not the jealous type, but yeah, I'm very envious of that, dude, because that means that means you started and you finished, man. Shit, that's got to be a fucking great feeling. So kudos to you, bro, and your band.
Thank you. Yeah, that's a big thing, and anything I do, music, ring announcing, voice acting. If you start something, you gotta fucking finish, and finish strong. So thank you for your kind words. This has been an absolute pleasure. Everyone involved, thank you for having me.
My question is, if we ask you to come back, would you grace us with your presence again down the road?
Oh yeah, no, just let me know when.
Because I would like to go deeper in the music. We're pushing the 2-hour mark as it is, and we still have a few things we got to talk about of a couple other promotions. Wade, I have enjoyed working with you since day one. I recognized your talent immediately, and you have done nothing but make CSW better since day one. And it's been a privilege working with you. It will be a privilege to continue working with you and watching you do your thing, because we always know where our mark is. When Wade stops talking, we got to be ready to go. So you are a commentator's best friend. And I hope at some point we get a chance to work commentary together, because I would love that experience too.
Hell yes. Anytime, anything. If there's a mic involved, and Steve, if you're involved, C-Red, you as well, Rachel, I'm there. Just let me know and let's plan stuff.
Hey, them few times that y'all put Levi on fucking commentary, can y'all kick his ass out and put Wade on commentary, please? God damn, Levi is fucking so annoying. Ain't no
We love
fucking time
Levi.
out.
We love Levi.
Man, he's annoying as shit.
We love Lando. Lando is a good people. We'll be all right.
He
We'll be
might
all
be
right.
good people, but he keep trying to get his goddamn self over, and that was fucking going on in goddamn ring. Shit. So put Wade in there. Shit. I guarantee you he'd be more entertained.
We will send a memo to the powers that be to make that happen. That's a beautiful thing.
Thank you very
Wade,
much.
thank you so much for hanging with us tonight. We're going to go for about 15 more minutes. You're welcome to stay, but we've had you. I thought I was going to have you for an hour. We've had you darn near 2 hours. You've been so entertaining. So
Why do you always think it's only going to go an hour?
because that's my intention every time, is to have the guest for an hour, and then we get to talking.
We
And
can't be the power hour anymore. We're the power hours.
well, power hours. We'll throw an S on there. It'll be a whole new branding. But Wade, thank you so much for taking time
course,
tonight.
yes.
We really
Yes,
appreciate
thank
it.
you.
And
Thank
we'll
you.
we'll catch up with you somewhere down the road. We got to have music part 2. I think we're going to call this episode Wade's Record Collection. I think that's
Nice.
going to be the name of this episode because that's a badass name for an episode of anything.
I thought we were calling it C Red was in a boy band.
That'll be in parentheses. See,
No.
we have to work with it. We'll have that'll be the or C Red has hair. I mean, there are so many things we could do. I'll have to I'll
Okay.
come up with that on the fly. But thanks, Wade. Thank you so much. I hope you had a good time. I know I did.
Oh,
I know
yeah.
Fred did. I know Rachel did, and Leon with his pictures. I love that he found all these cool pictures of you rocking and rolling because that was very cool.
And the Golden Girls.
And the Golden Girls. So there you go. But that's Red's
Beautiful
hair,
work.
Blanche.
Well, thank you again. Thank you. I can't say it enough. Thank you again for having me, giving me my flowers, all the kind words. I would love to be back anytime y'all have availability. I can make it work.
That's how you're gonna play Wade out. You're gonna put George Michael hair on C Red. That's how we're playing him out.
I'll take it.
I hate y'all.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the one, the only Wade. Wade, we love you. Peace. I will see you Friday night, my friend.
Yes,
Long
sir.
live Knockout Kid. Long live you.
Absolutely.
Long live your rock band.
Go Cowboys.
Oh God.
We were here and now we're here.
All right,
that's
time
right.
for the cane. Yank him off. Yank him off.
All right, that's our friend Wade. This Saturday night, we've got a couple of shows that are happening. One in Shabance and one in Maryville. Last week, we talked a lot about Crash Tested Wrestling. So I think we've talked that to the point where it is no longer necessary to talk about it. You know what's going to happen. It's 2 times in a weekend that my job is on the line in nonsensical situations. But we need to talk about Shabance because that is SCW Star Spangled Beatdown. And the Kang, C-Red, is he in action at Star Spangled Beatdown? Because I have not seen him on a graphic yet, have I?
Why are you asking me?
Because you're the ARC, you're the Kang.
He should be worried about that ass whooping that all day is laying down on his ass. He ain't got time to be
Oh, so he's not double dipping. Okay. So a couple of matches at Star Spangled Beatdown that I'm interested, even though I'm not going to be there. I still am interested to see how they go. Angel is in action, and she is fighting Leslie Lamuneka, who Wade is pretty familiar with. Leslie is a fixture in Galley in Villa Park, and she has graced CSW quite a few times. She is a champion in many places, and she is coming to Shabance to take on the Angel. Plus, you have Johnny Chaos, the young man who has stolen the hearts of Million and a certain trainer that I know, taking on Axel Abreu of POW Entertainment. So that'll be a fun match. 2 new guys, Red. I don't think you've seen them since you've been on hiatus, but we've got Apex taking on Logan Steele. VJ Price, one of your favorite guys.
Sir, my apologies for jumping on here. Are you actively trying to get me to put these photos on here as you're seeing them rapid fire?
You can try if you want to. I'm basically trying to wrap this package.
Okay,
so
I just feel like, okay, all right. I'm just making sure. Okay,
I'm
I'll
the
do my
bandit.
best.
I'm putting the pedal on the metal. I've got a long way to go and a short time to get there. I'm eastbound and down at this point. VJ Price has a mystery opponent. God only knows who that's going to be. We've got the High Voltage Championship. Bane X in his final show, his final appearance at SCW as he retires, taking on the scumbag attorney, no, not Eric Schultz, Warren C. Freiberg III Esquire. Yes, there are multiple scumbag attorneys. I know it's fucking hard to believe. It's difficult to say, but it's true. It's a thing. Scott Spade, who is a big fan of Wade's band Cannibal Corpse, taking on Elite Marco Anthony Saturday night in Shabance. I hope Marco Anthony runs roughshod over that idiot. And then we have the Titans of Destruction, the tag team champions, taking on Dysfunction. Will Brandon Espinosa be there this time is anybody's guess. Then we have Apex pulling double duty against JPH. And we have Odinson the Berserker and Natasha Crane and a mystery partner taking on Punitive Damages. And we also have Jimmy Carrot and Basil taking on Benny Vargas. That guy from Boston is going to get his ass kicked and he's going to get possessed by a mask. So you don't see that in wrestling every day, that's for sure. So if you are not in Maryville, head on down to Shabance. Hunter Payne and the boys down at SCW. I know that James Creed will be in action, but I can't seem to find the graphic for it. Oh, there it is. Oh, God, how could I forget this match? Boy, am I going to catch shit for this. The championship is on the line. It's Aaron Xavier, the evil genius, the architect of the ARC, taking on the franchise, James Creed, in a match that has been brewing for months. So if you need any more reasons to go to Shabance, I can't think of what they are. I will not be there, unfortunately, because I have to fight Cameron at Crash Tested Wrestling and cut the head off of the High Society snake. So you've got a lot of wrestling action happening this week. And CSW Friday, CTW, and SCW on Saturday. Rachel, do you have any updates from the knockout world as we are rapidly approaching the return in August?
No, because we are pushing our return to practice back because of the Rabid Brewing Festival of the Goat Queen this Saturday, June 22nd. Wrestle League will also be in attendance. I will be there selling my vintage items, and the Knockouts will be in attendance, kind of in a street teaming situation, but kind of there and all over the place.
So what time do the festivities in the Festival of the Goat, what time do they start?
Let me find out when that would start for everyone else, because I'm going on vendor time, which is load in and load out. But while I'm doing that, don't forget, it is official. I am competing in the Jello Wrestling fundraiser August 5th at the Room in Highland, Indiana, unless it's Griffith, Indiana. It's all the same to me.
It's one big place.
IDD, the Ileana Derby Dames fundraiser. So
when you said Jello Wrestling, I saw Wade furrow his eyebrows, so I think he might want to come see some Jello Wrestling.
I do a lot of questionable things, that's true, but this is for a good cause. It is making money for a nonprofit roller derby league, who I played against in my past life in the more athletic inclined roller derby that is WFTDA, rather than the wrestling on wheels that is the Chicago Knockouts. Rabid Brewing, the festival of the Feast of the Goat Queen, starts at 2 p.m.
So it is an afternoon show. So if you are,
it goes all night.
Oh, it's an all-nighter. Okay. Rabid Brewing is one of my favorite places in the world. They have some of the most delicious craft beer ever conceived by humans. So go if you're not coming to Maryville or you're not going to Shabance, or if you want to pregame there, go there first, then come see us. Definitely do it. And then there's the graphic for the Jello Wrestling. Is that you, Rachel? Are you?
Am I green?
Well, I can't. I'm wearing.
Am I a panda?
I don't see color.
I am not a member of the Ileana Derby Dames, so no, that is not.
But you are wrestling on their behalf.
I am wrestling on their behalf. The Ileana Derby Dames and my original Derby team, the Vindicated Vixens, go way back. We were like sister leagues, and they are really great people, and they're always doing great things for local charities, especially like Abra, which is an animal rescue. And so I'm just happy to help them fundraise some money for the team for their travels and their extra gear and stuff like that.
An awesome cause, to be sure. Rian, you got anything you want to plug before we get out of here tonight?
That answers the question.
That answers the question. Okay. We want to thank Wade for being here tonight. Check out his music. Come check him out doing his thing at CSW Friday night. Next week on this program, I don't know. I think I booked a fairly questionable guest this time. Not really necessarily looking forward to it because he and I have beat Wrestle League superstar EJ Swanson will be our guest on this show. So check it out. It'll be interesting. I'm sure I'm going to get heated at some point because he put his hands on me recently. But that's a story for another time. Thanks, Wade. Rock on.
Thank
Wade's
you, Wade.
collection will be coming out. Oh, there it is. July 30th, 2023, IPW Richmond Park. All the champions will be in action, and the jerk horses are hosting the show. If you ever want to see wrestling on crack, Wade, come on out to Richmond Park on a Sunday afternoon. It's a hot mess, but very entertaining, and the hot dogs are delicious.
The chicken wings are delicious.
Chicken wings are pretty good too.
Chicken wings are
make them
amazing.
to order. So it's a fun time. It's an afternoon show and all kinds of stupid, chaotic, crazy shit. And with those three asshats hosting the show, I promise you, I am going to be all over that venue, causing all kinds of chaos.
I love a good glizzy.
There's you got that right. It's going to happen. All right, that's the end of the Power Hour this week. Thanks to Wade. Thanks to NWA Superstar C Red. Thanks to all of you for watching. We will see you next week on the Power Hour. Good night, everybody.